Hello all, welcome to Kalam IAS Academy. This is Priyanka Mahapatra, faculty at Kalam IAS. So today we'll be having a discussion on the UPSC Essay Paper 2022, and today's topic is Smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. Before actually writing the main content of the essay, you go through certain exercises. So what are those exercises? First is that you spend some 5 minutes of your time in choosing the topic. And how do you choose that topic? Based on certain parameters, whether you are able to generate proper dimensions to the topic or not, whether you are able to generate proper examples to the topic or not, whether you are able to generate your arguments to the topic or not, whether you are having a counter argument to the topic or not, whether you are able to generate a proper introduction to the topic or not. So there are various parameters based on which you judge that if the topic is your topic or not. Okay, then you come to the brainstorming session. That is to be done in the rough page of the answer sheet, of the UPSC answer sheet. What do you do in that? You just collate, you just write down all the ideas that are coming to your mind that moment, whether it is structured, unstructured, relevant, irrelevant point, right? And then you just filter out. The next stage is filtering out. You decide which points are important for this particular essay, which point is justified to be there in the essay, and rest all points you just strike off. There where you just check the parameters of the UPSC directive. Here the parameters of the UPSC directive being that it should be closely related to the topic, you should not deviate from the topic, your expression should be exact and effective. So you kind of logically arrange those points in the rough page of the answer sheet so that it feels that your original essay has a very nice flow. It is logically arranged, it is coherent, and the expression, the arguments, the examples, the dimensions, they are very much well connected to the topic. Okay, so that's how your parameters of UPSC directive for essay is being checked. That is why the brainstorming of the essay topic is very, very important. You should be spending some 20-25 minutes of your time towards brainstorming only. Okay, so you make sure that you have some 4-5 important dimensions for a particular essay, including the counter argument of the essay, way ahead part of the essay. Right? In this particular essay, pause down the video and create your own dimensions. Then you can check with this video's discussion. I'm not telling you that the dimensions written here are the ultimate dimensions. If you are having any other dimension with you, please feel free to write it in the comment section. I'll be happy to read them. So coming to the topic, it is smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. So here the dimensions would be that first you need to explain what does smile symbolize. Then coming to the why aspect, that why should smile be the chosen vehicle for all the ambiguities? Then coming to the how aspect, that how do we bring that smile in the time of ambiguities? Then you come to the counter argument. So here these two dimensions are the main demand of the essay topic. So here, while describing these two dimensions, you should be giving more weightage in terms of paper. Then coming to the counter argument part of the essay, that means you are countering the main argument of the essay. Main argument is that smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. But in countering, you will say that smiling is not an effective solution in all cases. And what are the other vehicles one can dwell on? And lastly, the contemporary relevance. Okay, so here I want to emphasize that whenever there is a possibility, please write the contemporary relevance of the quotation. That will fetch you more marks. So let's start with the introduction. So here I have taken one anecdote. There are many ways to introduce a particular essay. You can introduce by a quotation. You can introduce by an anecdote. In science related essay, you can describe, you can go back to the history, you can give a historical reference, you can take back to the evolution of that subject through the time. Okay, you can pose questions also in many topics if you can do beautifully. So I have taken an anecdote based introduction. Okay, here I have taken Lord Buddha. So he was in an assembly when a gentleman walked furiously towards him. He thought that Buddha was doing something wrong. So he came and looked at Buddha with all furiousness. As soon as he came near Buddha, no words would come out of his mouth. So he spat on Buddha's face. But Buddha, in this situation, instead of showing his agony, his anger, he simply smiled. All other disciples around were gripped with anger on this man. And seeing the smile of Buddha, this man could not stay longer, so he ran away. When Buddha did not react or say something and just smiled, this man could not sleep the whole night. So it was the first time in his life he met somebody who could just smile when he was patting on his face. So hence he underwent a transformation. Such a transformation that the next day he came and fell at the Buddha's feet and said, "Please pardon me. I don't know what I did." So here you are emphasizing the power of smile, the power of transformation through the smile. So understand that the anecdote which you are writing must be justified to be in the introduction part, because the introduction is the first impression you are giving to the examiner. It should be very effective. It should be very impressive. So the anecdote which you are writing should be very effective, should be actually justifying the wholesome meaning of the essay. So here we were giving the importance of smile in all ambiguities. Here ambiguity was the spatting on his face. Lord Buddha was facing an ambiguity here when somebody was coming in front of him and spatting on his face. But he chose the vehicle as smile. So this is how you should be justifying the anecdote. Then you can give the anecdote of Nija Bhanu, how she gave a rare courageous smile when she was trying to help the lives of over 300 people in the challenging times. But she died while saving the passengers on the flight, which was hijacked by the terrorists during the stopover at Karachi in Pakistan. And she became the youngest recipient of India's highest peacetime gallantry, the Ashoka Chakra Award. This also you can write. So here, please notice that you are giving a situation where there is an ambiguity, where there is a challenge. And in that situation, somebody is showing his or her forgiveness, smile, her calmness, her patience. Okay, so that is how you should be justifying the anecdote. Again and again, I am repeating this thing because many students of mine, they are committing the mistake of writing an anecdote which is actually not justifying the wholesome meaning of the essay. Okay, and that itself is a big deterrent to your marks, to your overall marks. So coming to the body, you should be writing that what is smile, what is chosen vehicle, and what is ambiguities. So smile is a facial expression that indicates happiness, joy, amusement. In a broader sense, it is kind of a social signal you're giving. It is a kind of conveying positive emotions. This is what smile means. It has nothing to do with the physical expression, but with a social signal also. And the chosen vehicle means a means or method deliberately selected for a particular situation, particular journey, or particular purpose. You're choosing that vehicle. That means some method you are deliberately selecting for that situation. Then ambiguities means any uncertainty, vagueness, or situation with more than one possible meaning. Okay, ambiguous, not clear, vague, uncertain, challenging. So putting it all together, the statement suggests that the smile is a selected or preferred method for navigating or dealing with uncertainties, unclear situations, or multiple interpretations. So you should be making the examiner understand about the keywords of the essay. What do you understand from the topic? Okay, that becomes your thesis, your own take. Then comes the second dimension, that what does smile symbolize. So you have to explain to that examiner that what are the different interpretations of smile you can analyze. That will showcase your analytical skills. So smile, as you know, that it is not limited to just a mechanical gesture performed by our facial muscles, which expresses our joy, pleasure, amusement, positivity, peace, happy state of mind, but it also denotes various other values like compassion and benevolence, confidence and optimism, tolerance, forgiveness, fortitude, and determination. So you should be telling the various interpretation of smile over here. Then comes the main demand of the essay, that why should smile be the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities? Because ambiguities are very inevitable. They are unavoidable. Okay, and you have to understand that even if one does not smile in a situation, the problem which is inevitable, the ambiguity which is unavoidable, they are not going to vanish, they are not going to go away because you are not smiling. Issues and dilemmas, they are very much mandatory in life. So the choice remains us whether to smile or to quit in that situation. So the choice is to smile, find solution, and emerge victorious. Then endurance. The value of endurance, it comes with smile. It helps us cultivate the endurance at the time of ambiguities with a smile. So when we are smiling, that means we are accepting that situation, that challenging situation, and it helps us remain calm, which is a very important requirement for taking any effective decision thereafter. Then comes right focus. It helps us to focus on the solution rather than just worrying about the problem. So it will show us the lighter and the brighter side of any given situation of life. Then it will also regulate our emotion. Smiling attitude, it will help us navigate through the negative emotion, to deal with the negative emotion like anger, fury, jealousy, and revenge. So smile, it will help us regulate our emotion. Then comes the counter argument part of the essay. Here you would be countering the main argument of the essay by saying that smiling is not an effective solution in all cases. For example, Chanakya here says about the four-pronged strategy to resolve any conflict situation. Samadam, Dandabhed. Sam means request or persuasion. If that is not working, then we will go by the monetary settlement. If that is not working, we'll go through diplomacy. If that is not working, finally, punishment. Punishment is the way. Then again, in some serious situation, smile might come across as an inappropriate way, as a dismissive way, insensitive situation, like personal tragedy. Somebody's father expired and you would smile in that situation. So it is so inappropriate. Then there are some cultural differences also. In some cultures, excessive smiling, like giggling, might be perceived as very insincere or manipulative or very cunning thing that is shown on your face. You can talk of the cultural differences also. Okay, for example, you can say over here that how your grandparents or the older generation, they do not like giggling. That they will say that this is a bad manner to giggle, to smile excessively. Okay, then comes authenticity. A forced or insincere smile can be very counterproductive also in some situation, potentially creating a mistrust or discomfort to the other person. ठीक है? So this is the arguments you can give in this. Then we come to the contemporary relevance. So this contemporary relevance is a very important aspect of the essay. If possible, bring this contemporary relevance or current relevance in any particular essay. This will fetch you more marks. Here you can bring the international examples. You can give the global view to your essay that way. For example, Russia-Ukraine war, how India has always favored the channels of diplomacy, dialogue and deliberation over war. How it has said that differences must always be settled with peace and no harm doctrine. Okay, then you can talk of religious fundamentalism. You can talk of the communalism. How in Hindu-Muslim divide which is happening in the society, how it can be resolved by forgiving attitude, by showing empathetic attitude. How the disputes between the communities can be resolved in a peaceful manner, which is actually missing in the contemporary times. Okay, so this is how you should be writing the contemporary relevance. Then we come to the way ahead part of the essay. So anything suggestive, write it in the way ahead part of the essay. That is the last part of the body. So how do we bring a smile? Through mental preparation, acceptance of the fact that troubles in life will certainly occur. Okay, that you have to accept that troubles in life will certainly occur. They are bound to happen, but they have to be confronted with a smile. So it is not the situation that matters, it is the mindset that matters, your attitude towards the challenging situation, manasthiti. It is not the paristhiti that matters, but the manasthiti that matters. Then again, resolve. So we should be having the biggest resolve and to show our strong set of values in that situation. Showing our forgiveness, showing our compassion, benevolence. Again, we have to be emotionally intelligent also in order to gauge the situation. It ensures self-awareness. It is about self-management, social awareness, what is happening around you, how should you deal with it. Introspection. In what situation I'm acting, I'm reacting in what way. If I'm reacting in a bad way, then I should be controlling it. Okay, this is called self-awareness, introspection. You should be questioning yourself that how will I react in such a situation when the situation is really bad. So that's how you will be controlling your emotion, because you are already knowing yourself that you will be reacting that way. ठीक है? Then comes the best practices. Yoga, meditation, spirituality, reading good books, healthy socialization can also help in bringing those good virtues in you. Then we will be discussing the conclusion. So the idea of smile coincides with the Aristotle's conceptualization of golden mean. Here you can discuss the Aristotle's conceptualization of golden mean, wherein he explains that moral behavior is the mean between the two extremes. At one end it is excess and the other end it is deficiency, and we have to go by the middle path. He asks people to locate a moderate position between the two extremes, and that is acting morally. So similarly, smile, how does it help? It will help us to strike a optimal balance in the human behavior. Okay, the greatest self is a peaceful smile that always sees the world smiling back. So you can take help of these lines. Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, he affirms that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, that is to choose one attitude to any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. It is talking about you choosing the way, reacting to a situation. right? Then you can talk of that only when the power of love will overcome the love of power. So love, power of love is important in overcoming the love of power. And then only the world will know peace, as peace begins with a smile. So this is how you should be ending this essay. And again, you should be giving reference of the introduction. And here in this case, the anecdote of Buddha. So here you can give the reference that had Buddha not smiled in such an ambiguous situation, then the person who spat on his face would have never realized his mistake. That way you can give reference in just 1-2 lines. Okay, so this was all about this topic's discussion. Any other perspective you want to bring in this essay, please feel free to write it in the comment section. I'll be happy to address that. Okay, until then, goodbye, take care, happy learning. Thank you so much.